Hey guys, it's really lovely to be with you this evening. Had such a blessed experience today in our first group gathering. We did some meditation and then had a little bit of a share circle, and yeah, I just felt so honored to host that and just to witness everybody sharing their heart and just to be in that group field. It was really special. And so thanks to everyone who showed up and for your donations. It means a lot. And it also makes it so that I can continue to offer those spaces and have them be donation based. So I'll let y'all know when the next one will be. To be a part of those groups, you have to be in the Facebook community, or you can join the Patreon, but I'd prefer if you're a paid Patreon member first. That way I got to know you a little bit. Just trying to keep those spaces really safe and yeah. So I have a little bit of a screening process there, just to see if you're a good fit for the space as well, if it's something that could help you. But I wanted to answer a question tonight that I got a while back, and it was, I don't really know what I'm going to say about it, except maybe a little bit. It was something like, are we ever going to have a life again? You know, this person was referring to awakening, Kundalini, spiritual awakening, and just the deconstructive nature of it, and how difficult it can be. I could feel in their question, like I could feel the energy of maybe some frustration, and that's totally valid and totally normal. It'd be weird not to be angry. You know, if something wasn't, if something's taking our life from us, especially if you liked your life. And that can happen. I mean, I think it's most common that a lot of people didn't really enjoy their life so much before awakening. Maybe they thought they did, but ultimately they felt they felt in their being that it was a bit or a lot inauthentic. It wasn't like in alignment with their true nature, with their heart, and they were living more from kind of either parental or cultural conditioning, you could say, or ancestral conditioning. And they were just kind of living out a program, they were living how their society told them to live, or their teachers told them to live, or whatever. And so for a vast majority of us, we weren't living really fulfilled lives before awakening. So I know for me, as horrifying as my awakening was, my Kundalini awakening, and everything I had to go through before I got stabilized in the energy, as horrible as all that was, for me, the Kundalini awakening was like a fresh start. It was like a fresh start at a life I actually wanted to live. A life devoted to being creative, to being like this entrepreneurial, creative person. And this is what I'm doing now is the vision I had when I first awakened. After I got stabilized and worked with one of my teachers, Craig Holliday, after I had a session with him, he really helped introduce and sync me up to the Divine Mother. And, from that day forward, I felt myself becoming a conduit for her and her grace, to work through me. And I didn't know exactly how it would look, but I kind of did in a way. Looking pretty much how I thought it would look, how it looks now. And it took a while. It took many years for me to get to the place I'm at now. I tried to even hold a group space a year ago, but I just wasn't quite right. And it was coming from this place of like, I should do it. It was kind of from an ego place. I was rushing the process. I was like, I've been doing one-on-ones for years. I should do group work now. But I just wasn't quite ready. And so I only gave it like 2 tries. And even the energy of the universe was communicating to me, not yet. So it's taken a lot of years for me to even get to this place now to where I feel really comfortable doing group work. I a lot of energy comes up, but it was like a lot of energy of just excitement. I felt so much joy today to host. And when I saw people signing up, and I also wanted to make sure the group stayed at a size that was, comfortable in a sense, so I can learn my own capacities. And I think the next group, I'm going to expand the container by a couple more people. Feels, in alignment to do that. But yeah, today I just felt like all this joy come online, and I felt so inspired. That was the thing about today's group gathering. I just felt inspired. I felt so inspired to host it, and it was just so fun. It was so enjoyable, and I was just thanking God. I was like, thank you for allowing this to happen, and for finally it being time to where it felt right. And it just felt so blessed, like an immense blessing to be able to host that gathering and to feel as good about it as I did, and just to feel so solid with it, and like, yeah, this is what I'm born to do. That's what it felt like. And just to get really good feedback from everyone and how much it helped them, that was really beautiful, and it really touched my heart. And yeah, I've been on the other side of that so much, right? I've been in a lot of group containers where I was the one receiving, and there was, one of my teachers would be conducting it, and I'd be with the group. And so I know that experience and how powerfully healing that can be. And so to be able to offer it to others was really heartwarming, and yeah, it was really beautiful. And so, but it's taken me years to get to this point to where I could even be that person who could offer that to others, right? I had to go on countless retreats and do lots of shadow work. And, a lot of you have watched the channel over the years. You've seen what I've been through, living out of the car, going through crazy ups and downs, just getting pummeled by life, like it's like life was just emptying me out, sometimes in a very brutal way. So yeah, even though I had that vision years ago, it's taken a long time to get to this place now to where it's like, okay, all that work I did, all that shadow work, I'm starting to feel, I don't know if it's like paying off is the right word, because it always, even when I was going through, once I've gotten stabilized in Kundalini, even when I was going through the craziness, there was a part of me that was still enjoying it, still appreciating it, still seeing it as exactly what I needed, even though it was so hard sometimes and so humbling. And it was just deconstructing me, right? Deconstructing ego force, showing me where ego's got the wheel, right? And so, yeah, I think the point I was trying to make is, for me, Kundalini was like a fresh start at a new way of living. And so I appreciated it once I got stabilized and got through that crazy phase where I was like in and out of the ER, neurology, CAT scans, MRIs, blood work, freaking out, not knowing what was going on. Crazy depressed. Like, you guys, a lot of you have been through it, and you've probably, some of you may have read my story, and you kind of know from my other videos what I went through. But once I got stabilized in Kundalini, it was like, oh, a whole new life. Like, I felt 1 year old after 1 year of Kundalini, and 2 years old after 2 years, because I was like, oh no, now I'm who I really am. My first 30 years of life, that was just conditioning, that was just programming playing out. And there was a lot of thirst for awakening before Kundalini. Like, I was just reading psychology, like all the psychology, like from Kierkegaard, Freud, Jung, others that I forget, like not even that well known of psychologists. I was just going into all the psychology, all the philosophy, all the classics, Dostoevsky. I loved Dostoevsky, loved him. I had like a nihilist phase, an atheist phase, and then I read like Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, and started opening up. Then I started doing lots of yoga, and the girl I was dating at the time, we started doing yoga together and juicing, and I was smoking a fair bit of plant medicine, marijuana. And ever since Kundalini, I've been like completely sober, of everything. I haven't even had really caffeine. I think I tried caffeine right after, but it didn't work for me. It's too stimulating, right? That's the thing. Once Kundalini really opens up, your life is so psychedelic. It's like you don't need substance anymore. And some people after Kundalini, it still feels right for them to use plant medicine, or maybe they do need certain things to help them stabilize in the energy. And I've worked with people where that's the case, and they might even need to go into Western medicine, some people. And some people that just doesn't work at all. And so every pathway with Kundalini is so unique. And so you just got to find like what's right for you and to listen to your own heart with that. For me, it just was like stone cold sobriety across the board. And that's just how it's been. I don't even need chocolate. Like that's, for me, it's like I drink water, and sometimes my thing is I'll have some sugar here and there. I eat a lot of fruit too. So yeah, where was I going with all of that? Yeah. So for me, Kundalini was just this thing that birthed a new way of being. It got me into my heart, and I kind of lost my thread with where I was going there, but that's okay. That's the other thing about Kundalini. It dissolves patterns of like perfectionism. It dissolves kind of self-harm talk. Like not that long ago, I would have had to push pause and go back and see what I said. And now there's just this willingness to like, yeah, it's just, there's just this piece about where Kundalini takes you. It just takes you to this peace and self-acceptance. I used to have a lot of OCD, and it'll flare up here and there, but I just see it so much clearer now, and I know it's coming from a core wound of fear, right? So, yeah, so for me, Kundalini really offered a new life, and so it was kind of easy for me to let go of the old life and merge into this this new way of being, this new way of relating to life, where it's a lot more of an inward-facing mind. It could be introverted off and on at times, where the social gatherings I used to be interested in, they just don't do it for me anymore. There's not much there for me. So, and making peace with aloneness, sometimes a lot of us, we have to find this kind of okayness with being alone. And that's really hard because we're conditioned that being alone is bad, and we got to be in the tribe at all times, got to go over for the guys for Sunday on football, even if the things don't speak to your heart or mean much to you, you fear missing out. And so that's one of the beautiful things that Kundalini brings online is this sense like even when you're alone, you're the whole cosmic universe. You're all of life. You are like everything you could ever desire. It's like you are that, and it's not found outside of you. And once that starts really coming online, then we're more okay with like the old life and the old patterns and the old social engagements falling away, because we don't feel like we're missing out on anything anymore, because everything is all right here, and it's always been right here. All of life happens within us. So you are life. Sadhguru said that once, like, no, you are life. The things you do, those are just activities. But to answer this person's question, do you get to have a life again? Well, not only does your inner life become much more abundant and rich and full of peace and equanimity? And do you not feel the need to go into things that are inauthentic? And are you able just to follow your heart more and more? But yeah, of course, the new life is going to birth through you, a more true life. Maybe a life of service, a life of creativity, a life with truer friendships, maybe not as many, but they'll be deeper, a life of real nourishing community, finding work that not only supports you financially, but supports you emotionally and fills your cup. You're just going to align with truth, and truth is going to take you in the direction of a very rich and beautiful life. It might be for a while more of a rich and beautiful inward life before that beautiful, rich inward life reflects back to you in the external. You might have to go through hell for a while. I mean, look at my videos. I was, navigating hell for quite a while, and there's not a resistance to going back, because there's treasure in hell. There's more of ourself to be reclaimed in hell. There's more non-dual awareness that can come online in hell. Hell can show us where we are in resistance to what is, where we are in resistance to darkness, where we are seeing something and we're saying that's not divine. Hell will show us all of these things until it purifies us and empties us out so much that we see everything as a landscape of the divine, light and dark. And that's true freedom. So I know it's a little off topic, but I do kind of want to dig back. What was I saying earlier about plant medicine? And then felt important. I don't know. This video's kind of gotten long. But yes, you're going to have a new life. I love the Adishante quote. You get everything you ever wanted, but it looks nothing like you ever thought it would. And so for a while, you have to just have this radical and kind of crazy trust that even though the old life is falling away and you're maybe in the hermit phase or the void, that life is, the divine is constructing a life for you that is so suited for you and so aligned for you, and is going to bring you so much fulfillment, so much true meaning. And it's going to be just for you, your true self, not your conditioning that you think it should be or who you were told you should be and all that stuff. No, your true self. And for a while in the void, it's all about finding who we really are. And sometimes we have to be alone to do that. Or we have to not be able to go and do the old things we used to be able to do, because life is trying to help you cultivate an inward facing mind. Because life is trying to bring you into this place of ultimate and true lasting peace, eternal peace. And that can only be found within. And once you really start finding that, then you have this sense of acceptance about however life wants to unfold from there, because you're at peace within. You've realized everything you ever wanted was right here. And you are the whole cosmos. How could you be missing out on anything? It's all happening inside of you. Some people say everyone else is kind of characters you're dreaming up, but this is your whole universe in the deepest sense. You're connected to all of life. And then from there, a life can birth where you're just sharing. And you are an unlimited possibility. So who knows what's going to happen, right? You just got to keep following the most exciting thing, even if it scares you. And I'll just leave you with that. I might watch this back, see where I lost my train of thought, and maybe make some on that. Who knows? Your donations are very appreciated. Thanks for booking sessions. I'll keep you updated on the next group gathering. Like I said, you'll have to be a part of the Facebook group at least, or maybe a paid member of Patreon to get information on it. Other than that, just sending you so much love, and thanks for being here. Namaste.